It's an Eastern Conference showdown in Toronto, Ontario. The Carolina Core keep the show on the road to take on their neighbors up north, Toronto FC2. Welcome into York Lions Stadium on MLSNextPro.com tonight. I'm Anna Whitty. Thank you so much for joining us. TFC2 is on a 5-game unbeaten streak. They're looking to keep that alive so they can bop up in the standings. Let's take a look at the standings right now in MLS Next Pro, the Eastern Conference standings. Toronto FC2 sitting in that 10th spot. Carolina Core, they're trying to pop up in the standings, sitting in that 14th spot. Number 1 in the standings, Philadelphia Union, 20 points on the season so far with 5 wins. At the very bottom is Huntsville City FC. They're looking for their first win this week. Carolina Core not far out of that number 15th spot. They're looking to get things going and continue off that win that tie against Inter Miami Sunday night. Toronto 2 head coach Gianni Cimini is going out in a 3-4-3 today. A consistent back line with Adam Perlman holding down the fort as one of those center backs. He started every single game so far for Toronto this season. Charlie Sharp starting forward up top for Toronto. He's had 3 goals this season for Toronto, looking to continue to tally more. Carolina Core head coach Roy Lassiter going out in a 3-5-2 today. A back line that has now started in the last 2 games together with Kobe Diaz and Aguas together in the midfield. In that 6th role is Canetti and Evans. Up top is a duo looking to continue on that scoring. It's Pachi, who has 2 goals this season, looking to get his 3rd, and Ty Jacob Evans sitting in the midfield. First matchup ever between Carolina Core and Toronto FC2. It's a beautiful night in Toronto, Ontario. 70-degree day up north. Toronto wearing their red kits going from the right side of your screen to the left. Carolina Core in their white kits headed from the left to the right. Carolina Core in their first season in MLS Next Pro. Only 1 win on the season so far. It was a tie against Inter Miami 2. Ended up winning in PKs. Looking to continue that momentum going forward. But for Carolina Core, they've been on the road all season to start in these regular season MLS Next Pro games. They'll have their first game at home, their home opener, next week. Our center official for today's game is Josef Boomseed. And we are just seconds away from kick here in Toronto. Carolina Core with the ball first. It's Pachi standing over it, looking to get things started for the Core. He'll play up top next to Cisneros. And we are underway from York Lions Stadium. The first matchup ever between Toronto and Carolina Core. Toronto FC in an unbeaten streak. 5 of their last games, they have been able to find results for their side. However, their match against New York FC2 was postponed. So the last match they played was back on May 10th. It gave Toronto the time just to focus on themselves, not having to necessarily prepare for the next game in front of them. They were able to fine-tune some of the things that they felt their team really needed to work on, and was able to dedicate the time and training to get better as a group. Ball goes back. A lot of pressure up top. That'll be cleared away by Alex Sutton. Backline of Toronto gets on the ball. Going forward is Stefanovic. Looks to connect but can't do so. Canetti will connect the ball in the midfield. Core looking for their first bout of offense in this match. Carolina Core, their first season in MLS Next Pro, doesn't have an MLS first team that they are kind of training with. Instead, Coach Lassiter says they're been able to go out, scout players, and bring in different players with agents reaching out, having players wanting to play for them at the core. And he said for him, he's able to set the style, set the tempo and how they want to play. A team that's high pressing and they want to keep the ball. High pressing is a step from Pachi, not able to get there. It's cleared all the way up by Di Rosario. Of course, head coach Roy Lassiter, formerly an assistant for Houston 2 and a head coach for Houston's U20 team. Played pro for Tampa Bay Mutiny and DC United in MLS. Had 34 caps with the U.S. men's national team. Grew up in North Carolina native, even played his college days at NC State. Toronto with some possession. This ball will go all the way back into the foot of Lazar Stefanovic, the 17-year-old out of Clearwater, Florida. Looking to switch the point of attack. That'll be broken up by the core. Core looking to go forward. Core certainly have numbers up in the midfield. Playing with 4 different numbers in the midfield with the wingbacks going forward. This gets them in the attack. Ball inside. Broken up by Stefanovic. Some time for Toronto. Simmermancic on the ball, 19-year-old from Ontario. Carolina Core, that high-pressing team. They want to attack with their wingers as well, having Pachi really lead this press for his side. All 11 players are expected to step into that press as well. One thing the Core have really done this season, trying to figure out their style, their formation. They play in so many different formations, and Coach Lassiter says he likes it that way. He wants to give his players different looks. They can play in different roles and figure out for his team and individuals what is the best position for them to be in. Stefanovic on the ball again. Ball inside. Foul called against Baptiste, the 24-year-old out of Honduras. He's trying to take the ball inside. It's a good look by Toronto because there's not many opportunities in the wide areas. Watch as he tries to take that touch in between 2 defenders. He gets knocked over by the Core, drawing a foul in a really good position for Toronto. Two different numbers standing over the ball for Toronto. Altobelli will stand over. Baptiste just to his right. Julian Altobelli has played in every single game this season for Toronto. He has a goal and 2 assists on the year. 21-year-old is very familiar with this club. Second most club appearances was 78. Boomseed getting things ready. 2 different numbers in Baptiste and Altobelli. Altobelli inside, cleared. Good touch going forward, bringing it back. Cuevas finds Juarez wide. In the middle of the pitch is Cisneros. Shot from distance. Sails over the crossbar. Good combination play by the Core, opening up the space in the midfield while they're dragging those numbers out into the wide area. Watch as the attacker just steps up, does a great job of getting his foot on it, just can't get his chest over the ball. Core, a good team at using the wide areas to open up the space in the middle of the field. Lassiter's side wants to use the width to create opportunities, but when the moments in the midfield open up for his side, that's when they've taken their chances. Core restarting it with their back line. Angel Aguas steps up in to the starting role today as Thomas got the red card in the game against Inter Miami Sunday night, so he's not able to play in this one. Aguas, a player from Houston Dynamo 2. This is his third MLS Next Pro season. Has plenty of experience in the league, yet this will be his first start and second ever game with the Core. Batiste draws the foul. Core putting a lot of numbers defensively on Toronto as they try and dribble the ball up the pitch. A yellow card will be given away to Canetti. Achundo Canetti, the 24-year-old, comes over from the NISA side in Valley United. Gets the first card of this match. Batiste with an option to go back. He finds Charlie Stanlin, one of the midfielders for Toronto today. It's him and Marcus Zimmermanchich who are holding down the fort centrally. Carolina is putting out 4 different numbers into the midfield, and then they use 2 wing backs on both sides, so 6 numbers really centrally. That Core's trying to clog the midfield, create those types of overloads that opens up the wing backs to go forward. Aguas finds the ball wide. Juarez not able to stay with it. Will go out of bounds and be a throw-in for the Core. Carolina Core, they're 1, 2, and 4 on the season. 14th in the Eastern Conference, just 1 spot out of the last spot. That's Huntersville who has the last spot in the standings. But they do have only 6 goals on the season, the least amount of goals in the league. This is the first season for the Core, and Coach Lassiter said that right now he's just really focusing on continuity for his side. Wants his players to get more minutes together. Having his back line, those 3 numbers who have experience together certainly helps today. Covey, Diaz, Aguas, who has familiarity not just with the players on the pitch, but also with Coach, since Roy Lassiter comes over from Houston Dynamo. Ball gets played off the shin of Diaz. That'll be a Toronto throw-in. Stefanovic goes all the way back. Toronto FC's first team is coming off a 5-1 win against Montreal in the regular season. They'll play against Cincinnati on Saturday. Right now, they're 5th in the Eastern Conference, a big bump up from last year. One of those big pieces is because they got a new head coach and John Herdman, and Coach Chimini said that they have a really good relationship together. They see the game similarly, and it aligns in the sense that they both want to be aggressive on and off the ball, knowing that they have to stay organized at all times and stay aggressive. Ball will be played dead again. Boomsid having a conversation with Diaz. Batiste goes all the way back, finds the option to his back line. Stefanovic, one of those players today who's been a big go-to for Toronto in terms of restarting play. Opening up space is Toronto. They get going forward. Big touch. Ball inside, stepping off of his line is Sutton. Toronto with their first real look inside of the 18. An opportunity down the flank from Charlie Sharp. Charlie Sharp one of the players for Toronto who is a big asset in the attack. This is just his 5th game played on the season, but has 3 goals already. Sharp's 22 years old, played his college ball at Western Michigan, was a 3rd-round pick in 2023, and has been a big asset to this Toronto side, and one that Coach Cimini is really excited about his future within the club. This ball gets the core going forward. Instead, they'll be in an offside position. Juarez couldn't hold his line long enough. Juarez, 21 years old, another player from Houston Dynamo too, has played in every single game this season. He joined the Houston Academy in 2018, and in 2022 he had 23 games played, started in 16, his best year in MLS Next Pro. Ball out wide, touch by Batiste. Touch again across, open goal, and Toronto can't get another touch on it. Ball will be restarted by Toronto. Stefanovic finds Batiste wide. He'll turn his defender, has an option going inside. Ball played inside again. Back out wide. Across. Header. Goal! Charlie Stanlin to open up the scoring in Toronto. Toronto does a really good job to open up the space by just continuing to share the ball. Watch as Stanlin loses his defender. He stays back, recognizes that the space is coming in. Stanlin has all the power behind the ball. All he has to do is redirect it. Sutton just can't keep that ball out of the back of the net. Good idea and great ball movement by Toronto to give them that early lead.
By number 89, Charlie Stanlin.
Charlie Stanlin, the goal scorer today, originally from England, signed with Toronto FC2 last month from Sheffield United Academy, a player who's a big piece and someone who Toronto is really excited about his future in this club. His first goal on the season. Carolina Core now 14 goals against on the season. Ball going forward. Pachi brings it back. Pachi can't stay with it. Batiste doing the work defensively to try and help. Core plays out of it. They'll switch to the point of attack. Big touch going forward, and Canetti can't stay with it. Rather, that's Juarez. Toronto doing a really good job defensively to cut out the spaces as Core tries to dribble forward and create an attack. Toronto is dropping so many numbers defensively. One of the things that changed for Toronto in the offseason when Herdman took over was the fact that they want to be a lot more aggressive going forward. Prior years, they played more in a 4-3-3. This year, in a 3-4-3 because they want to commit numbers going forward. They traded the fullback position to have wingers and players that are more into the attack. That asks for Toronto to have more solid center backs this season. Core with no options going forward. They'll play back into the foot of Aguas. Ibrahim Covey, one of the other center backs for the Core, 24 years old, played his youth days at Paris FC. Made his professional debut in November of 2022 with Segunda Division game. A player who's had plenty of international experience and then brings it here into this MLS Next Pro new team with the Core. He takes a good touch going forward. Canetti restarts it in the midfield. You can see the confusion in the midfield from Cuevas, pointing, wanting his players to go forward. Instead, he has to play the easy option back. That shows Core is still new. It's a team that's only played 7 matches together, don't have a ton of continuity, a brand new system, brand new coaching staff, and hasn't even had a home game in the regular season yet. So for the Core, they're just trying to get through these games, but also use these games to get better as individuals and really understand each other's play better. Alex Sutton, the goalkeeper for the Core, 23 years old, played his college ball at Lafayette College and then went on to play professionally for the Maryland Bobcats FC. Canetti with no options, he'll go back. Canetti playing in that double pivot tonight with Jacob Evans. Evans, a true 6, but yet wants to play in a higher position. Coach Lassiter moving him up there. That's what's led him to be the leading goal scorer this season with 3 goals. Lassiter, a player who can play all over the pitch, and when he can get high, it's great for the Core's attack, but defensively, they can use him in that role as well. It's been a big piece to the Core in their first 7 games. Juarez out wide, tries to play it inside, gets a deflection. Evans goes forward, finds Pachi's foot. Pachi going forward. Pachi with the shot deflected. Toronto FC, they have numbers in transition going forward. And that'll be a foul called this time against Christian Diaz, and he will receive a yellow card. Diaz just a little too aggressive into that attack. It's more of a tactical decision. Watch as this player turns and Diaz gets his right cleat. Doesn't move his feet, instead just gets his foot stuck in. In those roles, you just, as a defender, have to move your feet a little bit quicker to try and win it back. Toronto FC 5-game unbeaten streak. Their game against NYCFC 2 was postponed, so their last match they played was against Huntsville, where they won 1-0. That game was played on Friday, May 10th. So they've had 13 days together at home to get better and get prepared for this match. Additionally, they get to stay at home as well. Not the same position that the Core are in. Carolina Core have stayed on the road to start their season, don't have their home opener until June 1st. So there's a lot of things that this team is just trying to get right as they stay on the road and prepare for their home opener. Toronto evade pressure. Not enough. Canetti will win it back. Canetti has time, plays it out wide. Cisneros can't get on the end of it. It'll go out the inline for a goal kick. De Rosario, the starting goalkeeper for Toronto today, made his Toronto FC 2 debut and his first start against New England Revolution 2 last May. Recorded his first ever clean sheet for TFC2 against Huntsville City on that May 10th game. So a player who just continues to improve. Cora will win this free kick. Toronto FC, a team to start as they play out of that pressure. Dropping back and going wide, they find Batiz. Core, win it. This is Evans, takes a shot, blocked. Despite how much Toronto has really controlled this match, they've only dominated 52% of the possession and have really dominated the match within their own back half, looking for moments to progress in the final third. The Core doing a good job with their pressing to win it as Aguas wins it back for his side. Good connection by the Core. Evans plays out. Canetti connects, and the Core will stay with the ball. Core will get a throw in. Coach Lassiter's side is a team that doesn't have a first team. So right now they're just focused on winning games. For Lassiter, he wants to win these games. He wants his team to get results and continue to improve. He says that his team now just has to work on being consistent. Toronto wins the ball back. Toronto playing around with it on their back line. Toronto FC in a completely different position than the Carolina Core, a team that have a good core. They have a lot of players returning from last year, and Coach Shimini said it really helps the relationships and the relationship building on his team, having players who understand each other, understand how this team and this system works, but it also helps the team because they know the expectations and what training is supposed to look like. Toronto FC, 3 wins on the season. They've had 2 draws and 2 losses. The results, the last 5 games is where they've won the results. So started the season kind of slow, back-to-back losses, but they've gotten things on track since. Dribbling all over the middle of the pitch is Cisneros. Evans switches it to Covey, has his option going back. Covey, a center back that the core can really count on to switch the attack, but also use his communication as one of the older players and experienced players in this club. Fans have showed up at York Lions Stadium to cheer on Toronto FC. It's been a very bright last 5 games for Toronto, getting the results that they want, but looking to continue to improve. Coach Cimini said that he doesn't even feel yet that they've played a complete game. He said the quality and the chances that happened from the subs that came onto the pitch against Huntsville helped, but they're still looking to play that complete game. He said they're getting close, just not there yet. Sutton looking for something to open up. He'll go long. White looking to get on it. De Rosario steps up to clear it up the middle. Either side has been really aggressive when it comes to the attack in the last 5 to 10 minutes. This game has been wide open for the core. They need to take advantage of that. Being down 1-0, this is a moment where they can step on the throat of Toronto FC because they aren't setting much of a tempo. Here they try and go. White on the flank. Batiste with strong defensive work wins it back for his side. Be a foul against Toronto FC. Sharp feeling some frustration because he had an opportunity just to continue to get going. Core quick in the restart. They'll switch it all over, rather all the way to the left side of the pitch to Juarez. Inside, it's a streaking Evans. He can't get on the end of it. And De Rosario will pick it up. De Rosario has started and played in the last 6 matches for Toronto. Hasn't seen a clean sheet yet for his side. 6 goals against. Yet Toronto's looking very strong to start this one, especially defensively. This year, Toronto is playing in a 3-back instead of a 4-back, and Coach Cimini says he does have players who have fit into that system really well, but some are still trying to figure out what that looks like playing with wing-backs instead of playing with full-backs. Still only 7th match of the season. They've had good results so far, but trying to get some of those players on the same page and understanding the principles with a brand new head coach with the first team. Ball played inside. Covey gets a touch on it, pops it up. Ayari with a great touch with a cross. No one's there to clean it up. The core is able to evade that pressure. Toronto switches the point of attack. And that'll be a foul called against Toronto. Rather, a yellow card will be given to a Toronto player. Toronto going forward. Initially, it looks like a foul against Cisneros, but Toronto will get the yellow card. Altobelli will be handed that yellow card for Toronto. Altobelli, one of the more senior players for Toronto, has played in every single game this season. 21 years old, a native of Ontario. He's had the second most club appearances. Ball restarted by White. This is the lone MLS Next Pro game on a Thursday night, headed into Memorial Day weekend. One where both teams are fighting to just continue to climb the table for Toronto FC anyway. Carolina Core looking to get their second result of the season. Carolina Core's first match on May 8th was at Atlanta United, where they were able to get a result. Since then, haven't been able to get a result since, so looking to just continue to improve. Corner kick will be taken by the Core. Jacob Evans stands over it. Evans with an in-swinger. Taken down by De Rosario. Easily handled by the goalkeeper. Evans looking to find a streaking player inside the box. Just nobody's able to contest the goalkeeper. That's the first big set piece for the Core in this one. Have to take advantage of those moments. Coach Lassiter acknowledges the fact that this is an independent team in the league. He says, you know, what group you will have day in and day out is a massive positive, but you won't be less than 5 players from the first team. You won't lose players to the first team when it comes to training. So there's much more connectivity and fluidity at the beginning of the season. Some of the cons are the players just not able to get that opportunity with the next level. But right now for Carolina Core, they're looking to build something special in High Point, North Carolina. Core's first home game will be against Chicago FC United. Rather, their first game will be on June 1st against Huntsville City. They play at Truist Point Stadium in High Point, North Carolina. Toronto FC's next game will be against Chicago FC United on May 31st. It's a beautiful day today in Toronto. 70-degree day. Thanks for joining us on MLSNextPro.com. Toronto FC got the things started early in the 14th minute. It was a beautiful goal by Stanlin. Able to get a head on a ball that's crossed inside the box, giving them the early lead. Stefanovic finds a number in the midfield. Not able to keep it in play is White. Well done by the core just to apply that pressure. They're a high-pressing team. They want to win it against this back line. They've done a good job of not allowing Charlie Sharp to get on the ball. Sharp has had 3 goals this season. Had a goal for Toronto in their last game. And just gets dragged down, fouled by Covey. Will give Toronto the ball. Toronto will restart the play. Zimmerman-Cheech stands over the ball, and now Stefanovic will take it. Ball goes back to Zimmerman-Cheech, and Pachi will lead the press for the core. Pachi's done a really good job defensively today, trying to lead the press for this core side. Covey was the number who got the yellow card on that last play, that foul against Sharp. Game has really been played within the 218s. It's been box to box outside of the goal. There's not been many opportunities for either side to get a shot off. The core have now had 3 shots. Toronto just that one that resulted in a goal rather. Toronto finds an outlet going forward, trying to connect with Sharp, but can't do so. Sharp pointing his arms. He's saying he wants to go in a more forward direction, so play that ball, inviting him into that space. That connectivity just not there between Sharp and his midfielder. Ibrahim Covey goes back to his goalkeeper in Sutton. Batiste doing that defensive work. White will stay with it. White, a touch inside, cleared away. Batiste, one of those wingers for Toronto, more of a fullback for his side. Doing the defensive work for Toronto, really helping out Stefanovic on this left flank for Toronto. Toronto with a great pass wide. Ball played inside. Stanlin. Zimmerman-Cheech wins it back for his side. Batiste not going forward. That ball was intended for him. Captain and Julian Altobelli trying to connect it with his fullback. Pachi not able to stay with it. Toronto doing the defensive work well. 5 minutes left in regulation time here in the first 45 minutes of play. Neither side outside of the goal has dominated this match to start. It's been within the 18s, really good defensive work from both sides. It's been a 3-back from the core who's held things down outside of that ball, rather that goal given away. It was created by a cross for Toronto. Outside of that, Toronto hasn't had many moments of brilliance in the attack. Ball goes all the way back to Sutton. He'll give it out to Covey. option and showing his feet is Canetti. Started every single game in the midfield this season for the Core. A player that Coach Cimini noticed and really wanted to slow down in this match, saying he's really aggressive, a player who's really good on the ball. Toronto's done a good job of taking him out of this game. Canetti on the ball. Canetti going forward. Has Juarez. Back to Canetti. We'll slot it all the way over to White. Toronto dropping every single number defensively, staying really organized. The Core just look to restart it with their back line. Sutton will clear it out of the 18. August has plenty of time. Toronto taking out the options in the midfield. Covey will restart it with his goalkeeper. Christian Diaz. Carolina Core, a side who's been on the road to start the season, yet they do a really good job of studying film. Coach Lassiter wants his side not just to understand his principles, but also to have a really good understanding of the opponents as well, looking to win these games in the league. Batiste. It's a foul against Evans. Sharp trying to win the ball. Sharp hasn't had many touches on the ball in this matchup. It's a shove in behind from Pachi. Toronto will get an opportunity late in this one. Standing over it is the goal scorer in Charlie Stanlin. Just two midfielders for Toronto playing in that 3-4-3. It's Stanlin and Simmermanchich who've dominated the midfield, really trying to dominate the space centrally, not allowing the Core to create overloads. 1 minute, a stoppage time will be added here at the end of this first half. A goal from Toronto in the 15th minute. It gives them the lead, looking to tally onto that score sheet. Ball played inside. Batiste. Sutton steps off his line and corrals it. Evans with space going forward. Juarez across the pitch. Multiple numbers from Toronto. Toronto will clear it and win it up. Batiste not able to get a touch and corral it. Core will get a throw in and likely the last opportunity for the attack here in the first 45. No option showing, and that will be it for the first 45 minutes of action here at York Lions Stadium. Toronto FC 2 takes the lead 1-0 over Carolina Core to start this match. Stay with us here on MLSNextPro.com. We have stats and highlights at the halftime.
Messi! La pelota para que contact and a shot goal! ¡Mamita querida, qué golazo! Magnifique frappe! Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta al frente. Servicio. El tiro. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área le pega, golazo. Amor al gol. Parte externa, va a definir Chicho.
Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, con las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Welcome back inside York Lions Stadium. Toronto FC 2 has the lead over Carolina Core 1-0 at the half. Michelle Montaigne had a chat with Philadelphia Union 2 head coach Marlon LeBlanc on their rise to the top of the East table. Let's take a look at the latest Coach's Corner.
What's up, guys? We're coming to you from the city of brotherly love with one of the coaches that we love, Marlon LeBlanc, the head coach of Philadelphia Union 2. Coach, thank you for sitting down with us.
Great to see you, Michelle. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages, so it's great to catch up.
Which I'm sure you're grateful for. Coach, every year you guys find yourselves in the postseason. Early this season, you're once again at the top of the standings. In your mind, which is harder, getting to the top or staying there?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'd like to select all of the above if I can. It's a little bit of both, you know. Getting there and achieving what we've achieved so far with this young group has been absolutely, really just fantastic in every sense of the word. And for us to be able to repeat success over the first couple of years in MLS Next Pro and make the playoffs and to be where we are right now and doing what we're doing right now here in year 3 is exceptional. It really is truly a testament to the kids and the effort of the players and our young group and our staff that probably don't get as much credit as they deserve. And I think as the figurehead of this group, I probably get more than I deserve. But it's been a really great collective effort from everybody. And we take our lead from our first team. They've been the best team in MLS over the last 5 years or so, and we'd like to think that the organization, the model of what we have in place really leads to success across all of them.
As one of the few coaches who's been with the league since its inception in 2022, how have you seen it evolve over these last 3 seasons?
Yeah, it's exceptional, really, right? Just seeing the successes of the young players and coaches that have come through MLS Next Pro, and you're seeing some of the young guys that have come through and scoring Champions League goals. You're seeing guys scoring game winners in MLS. You're seeing coaches now leading first teams in Montreal. It's remarkable how this league has elevated players into the first division and coaches. Obviously, the league has grown quite a bit, and we know that on the surface. It's gone from 24 teams to 29 and continuing to grow. We've seen young players make it to the first team, coaches make their way through, but the level has gotten better too. The competition has been fantastic, and we've been one of the few teams that have been consistent across it, but you're seeing new teams get better really quick. I think this league's objective was to have this platform for young players and coaches to develop and to get better, and without a doubt, you're seeing that happen, and you're seeing it happen at a really, really high level in Next Pro. The competition, the preparation, the professionalism, even the broadcasting with Apple now has kind of elevated this league to a whole new status. So it's been impressive.
Yeah, you guys have been one of the kind of pillars of that exact succession. As you think about the pipeline, the established academy that you guys have, what do you feel like is really the root of the success in getting these guys up to the first team and having them have success once they get there?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, obviously the continuity. We have a playing style that's distinct. We have a style of play that is taught at the academy that goes to the second team and ultimately is driven by our first team. And it allows us to be able to have these players go up and down, back and forth, and really never miss a beat. But I also think the fact that, and it's really understated, that all of our teams live in one place. We're all in Chester, Pennsylvania, right next to the stadium. So the academy, the second team, the first team all train at the same facility. We benefit from our school being here as well. And so we have this process and this methodology that kind of, it goes right through in and out of our club. And I think it puts us in a really unique advantage that we're all literally at the same place at the same time every single day, seeing each other. Jim's working with our 17s. I'm bringing some of the kids in, first team, and younger players coming through. It really is an incredible environment to be able to be a young professional in.
What is the approach with these young guys who have such high expectations put upon them?
Yeah, it's a really holistic approach. You know, the high expectations are for literally every kid that comes into this academy, and I don't know if that's necessarily driven by us versus what we've built here over the last 10 plus 15 years. This academy has become a world-renowned name in player development, not just for our first team, but around the world, and players going off into Europe. And so each one of these young players, Kevin Sullivan, David Vasquez, CJ Olney, Andrew Rick, all of these young guys have these massive ambitions for themselves, which it's our job to support and to try and help them reach those lofty goals that they've set for themselves. Our role and our objective is to provide them a platform and an environment where they can achieve everything that they want to achieve as young players. And I think they all see themselves as the next Brendan Aronson or Paxton Aronson or Mark McKenzie, Austin Trusty, whoever it is that's come through this club that's gone on to great success. They all want that too. And we'll just continue to cultivate and foster an environment that allows them to be the best that they can possibly be. And I think we really do a really, really good job here in our academy and in our second team of providing that opportunity for them.
Yeah, being in a role where you get to have so much influence at the pivotal times in their development, what is maybe your favorite part about your current job?
Yeah, my favorite part is not qualifying for the playoffs or winning, a big game. My favorite part's getting to stand there with David Vasquez and hold his shirt with him and take a picture with him, and seeing the smile on his face that he's made it to the first team. And the same with Kevin and Andy Rick and all these guys who have come through. And like I said, the Aronsons before, Quinn Sullivan before his younger brother Kevin, and McGlynn and Harriel. That for me has been the most rewarding part of this whole experience, is being a part of their journey. and just being there to help them and help them get to where they want to get to. And look, people will forget who last year's MLS Next Pro champion was, and they'll forget who this year's will be, and they'll forget me along the way. But for a brief moment in their journey, I get to be a part of it, and that in itself for me is the reward that is going to last much longer than any wins or losses will.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's forgetting you anytime soon, Coach, but thank you so much for all of the time today.
Thanks, Michelle. Great seeing you.
Dale pues, mamá ya, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, con las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta. André. Servicio. El tiro. It's saved by Carlos Coronel. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área. Le pega. Golazo. Externa va a definir Chicho.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got. I need that in my size. Cream on cream? The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
Toronto FC 2 with a 1-0 lead over Carolina Core from York Lions Stadium. Welcome back in. The first 45 minutes have been an exciting one. Let's take a look at the highlights between Toronto and the Core. It was Toronto who got started really strong with this one, but Carolina Core had their moments as well. Toronto did a really good job defensively with just shutting down the Core, especially in the wide areas where the Core want to be dangerous. There was just one shot that tested Di Rosario early on for the Core. Since then, Toronto did a really good job of opening up the space centrally, getting involved into the attack. An opportunity by Sandlin takes full advantage of this header. It's Sutton who just can't get his hands completely on this ball. Goes in the back of the net for the lone goal in the first 45 minutes of action. Really been a game in between the two 18s in the first 45 outside of just that goal. 3 shots from the Core, none of them have been on target. For Toronto, it's just one shot on target. Passing accuracy has been outstanding from both sides, and it's been the Core with more possession, 51%, a fairly equal game. Carolina Core looking to find themselves back into this one. Toronto FC, a team that is looking to stay unbeaten, which is their 5 last games they have been unbeaten. Let's take a look at this week so far. Houston Dynamo 2 got the win over St. Louis 2 last night. This upcoming weekend, it's Atlanta United 2 will take on Chattanooga FC on Saturday. North Texas SC will take on Real Monarchs at 9 p.m. on Friday. Chicago Fire FC 2 against Columbus Crew on Friday at 7. Some exciting matchups here in MLS Next Pro. You don't want to miss any of these. Right now, Toronto FC, they're looking to get their stay on this unbeaten streak, looking to get 6 results. They started their season with 2 losses, and since then, they have just been on the right track. Substitution will be made for the Carolina core. Ozzy Soneros will come off the pitch for Yankee-san Suba. Another substitution will be made for Toronto tonight as well. Theo Rigopoulos will come onto the pitch. Hassan Ayari will be the substitute out of the pitch, and that allows Theo Rigopoulos to come on. Rigopoulos, 17 years old, a defender originally from Ontario, grew up in the TFC2 community, or rather academy. Few seconds away from kick here at York Lions Stadium. Standing over the ball for Toronto is Julian Altobelli. He'll get things going, and we are underway for the next 45 minutes of action between Toronto and the core. One player that Toronto wasn't able to get the ball in the much, or rather the ball too much, was Charlie Sharp in the first half. Sharp with 3 goals on the season. His first season with Toronto FC has started in now 3 matches. Played his college ball at Western Michigan, had a really good college career, being drafted in the 3rd round to Toronto. So it's a player that Toronto's really going to look to try and get on the ball going forward in the second half. Carolina core starting strong with a little bit more possession than they had in the first half. Sutton will switch the point of attack. Zimmerman-Cheech not able to connect centrally. Evans is there to collect. Coach Lassiter said that when he was selecting his team, it was really just a mix of things. They have a scout and Andy Williams who did a great job in going out and finding different players, but also different agents were reaching out. With Lassiter coming over from the Dynamo, they had a collection of players within the academy and within the second team that came over to Carolina core as well. So it's been a mix of international players, players who have experience in MLS Next Pro, which has led to this collective team for the core to start this season. Core looking to go forward. Pachi, their star forward, not able to stay with it. There's Cuevas. Can't stay on his feet. Defensively, Toronto will win it back. Canetti, centrally to Evans. Jacob Evans, a true 6, has played the 6 here this evening, but we've seen him more in the attack as the season has gone on. He's had 3 goals and an assist this year, and Coach Lassiter says that he loves playing in a higher role in that 10 or H spot because it allows him to get opportunities, shots, looking to score. Every soccer player's dream, looking to find the back of the net. Evans in a more 6th role just allows him to be the facilitator, that number who's looking to connect the ball and switch to the opponent attack when need be. De Rosario clears this ball off the line. This is Toronto's first game since they played on May 10th and got the result over Huntsville, a team who's been able to use that time to work on the things that they need to get right, dedicating that time to understanding each other, learning the new language with the new principles, new styles, and it's worked in their favor here early in this one against the Core. Covey goes wide to Aguas. Aguas has the short option to Juarez. Going forward, inside is Cuevas. Cuevas, a touch inside, a shot. That one will go wide. Cuevas just taking all the space that he can. He picks his head up, sees there's no options that are open, so he takes another touch inside. As soon as that defender starts to slide in to try and win the ball, does a good job to release it quickly. Just not able to get his hips completely around the ball to get that shot on frame. Core will have their second corner kick of the evening. Ball inside. De Rosario steps off his line. Played back inside, that'll be deflected off Toronto. Rigopolis not able to connect. And it's White doing the defensive work for the Core. Jeremiah White, this is his 3rd game he started this season. The 17-year-old has played in the academy with the Philadelphia Union, New York Red Bulls Academy as well. Comes over, this is his new team with Carolina Core. Has played with the U17 U.S. Youth National Team as well. Foul against Toronto. Core will have a set piece in a dangerous area. Covey, a tall physical defender, getting involved in the attack for the Core. So it'll be an outswinger taken by Evans. Cuevas at the top of the 18 in case the Core need a second chance from him. Evans. Cleared away by Toronto. Core not able to get anything on that ball. An opportunity on goal. That's what they need. Not many opportunities to start this one. No shots on target for the Core. They've had 3 chances, but just not able to collect one that is dangerous on De Rosario. Core playing a little too aggressive. That's a hard step by Juarez. This will be restarted by Toronto. Fisher has a number wide. Dribbling centrally. Toronto will win it. Canetti is there to collect it again, get it out of a danger spot. Ball played by Pachi. White gets going. White cuts inside. And an offside position is Covey. That'll be played dead. Rather, that's Suba in an offside position. Free kick by De Rosario, looking for his first clean sheet on the season in goal. Awkward pass back, Sharp not able to get on it. Ball brought down centrally. Fisher has Sharp, bounces it wide to Rigopoulos, who's in an offside position for Toronto. Toronto started to find more chances, that combination in the attack against the Core's 3-back. Charlie Sharp leading the way. Coach Cimini says he's a player who can just score in a variety of ways. He's calm and he's a finisher. Whenever he shoots, he's always looking to score. A player that's been on their radar for a really long time. You can't teach a player like him to score. He's just a true finisher. Evans centrally switches the point of attack. Gonna find Juarez, can't do so. This will be headed away by Toronto. Canetti switches it again. 24-year-old has started every single game for the Core this season. Has 2 assists. Dribbling out is Cuevas. Here comes Cuevas again. Shot. That one will go wide of frame. Cuevas is a player who's found those open seams in the middle of the pitch for himself, starting to take those chances, just not able to get that one on frame with any power behind it. Carolina Core, they have 6 goals on the season, the fewest goals in the league right now. A team who's brand new to the league, but also brand new to the system, coach, and players around them. But right now, that is the biggest thing for Coach Lassiter's side, is trying to figure out the best opportunities and best ways to find the back of the net. Here comes the Core again. Juarez switches the point of attack. Suba. Suba gets tackled and Smermancic takes care of it. For the Core right now, it's really just about the consistency of play, making sure that they're finishing out games. Against Inter Miami, Coach Lassiter said he felt like his team stuck to the game plan, did a really good job until his player got a red card in the 26th minute, and then from then on it was really difficult to stick to the game plan. Still got a point out of that game, and Coach Lassiter was happy with that result, but he said for his team it's just about hanging in there and staying consistent on both sides of the ball. Toronto screaming going forward. There hasn't been many opportunities aside the first few minutes of play for Toronto going forward. Regopoulos decides to go back, has Stanlin centrally. Good little passing pattern from Toronto, but nothing that threatens Carolina core in their press. Dribbling out of the back is Stojanovic. Carolina core, a team who got a result in their last match against Inter Miami Sunday night. They traveled home and then they went back out on the road to take on Toronto. It's been a busy week for this core side. An opportunity shot, saved by Sutton. Toronto just outside the 18, no one's stepping to this ball. Watch as soon as this ball gets taken down by Regopoulos, he takes the shot with nobody stepping to him. Good idea by Toronto. Rather, that was Altobelli taking the shot, and he'll take this corner kick for Toronto. Pointing to the ground is Stanlin. He wants that opportunity at the top of the 18. Altobelli inside, bounced out, shot over the crossbar. Good idea by Mark Fisher. Mark Fisher just popping off of his line. Watches Fisher, he notices that ball is gonna drop into his feet, just not able to get his foot completely over that ball to see it underneath the crossbar. Toronto looking to find more opportunities. That was their second shot. This core side has had 7 shots in this match, yet none of them has really tested Di Rosario. Here comes Suba. Suba with a big touch. Touched away by Toronto, and it'll be another corner kick for the core. Evans wants his team to restart it. Evans inside, headed by Pachi. Back up is Aguas rather. And Toronto will evade that pressure. It'll be a restart again from Core's midfield. Pachi can't continue that play. Good defensive work by Toronto, dropping those numbers back and making sure that ball can continue to go forward. It's a collective defensive effort by Toronto. Really good job of pressing in the right spots and making sure they're getting the ball away from Pachi, the leading goal scorer for this core side. Rather, he's tied in all competitions with Jacob Evans. Both have 3 goals in all competitions. Evans 3 goals in the regular season. Pachi with just 2. Covey finds his outside defender. Centrally, it'll go into Canetti, and he'll switch the point of attack. Toronto doing a good job with their press, moving the core back. Aguas evades pressure, clears that one all the way up the pitch. The core can't get on the other end, and Toronto has their numbers going forward. Evans has an option on the left. Cuevas splits the defenders, and Warves not able to get that last touch. Good look by Cuevas not to take that shot. Instead, just slots that one in behind to Warves, making that run. Core just not able to connect inside the 18 because Toronto's doing a good job of dropping back defensively. Final touch that was played around the corner will be a goal kick for the core. Hard tackle against Evans, and that play will be called dead. Evans still down on the ground. A yellow card will be given to Charlie Stanlin. Watch as Stanlin gets stuck in, clips the foot of Evans, doesn't even go for the ball at that moment as well. Well-deserved yellow card to the midfielder.
Yellow card issued in the 65th minute to Toronto FC number 89, Charlie Stanley.
Toronto's about to make a substitution. They'll win the ball back in the attacking third. Sharp, back to Stanlin. Ball going forward. Pachi has it in the attack. 1v1 out wide. Pachi looking for options, finds one underneath. Evans streaking again. That last pass not able to stay connected, and Toronto will clear it. Batiste going forward, doesn't have an option going with him. Instead, he'll bring this one back and find a teammate. Toronto doing a good job of allowing the Carolina core to have their moments, yet doing a good job defensively, winning it back and then slowing the game down. Toronto putting the lone goal away in this one in the 14th minute was a header from Charlie Stanlin. Core win it back. Wide to Cuevas. Cuevas has Canetti underneath. Rather, that was Juarez, not able to connect. Core with no options, they'll go back. Toronto dropping all those numbers again defensively, especially inside the box, recognizing the core do a really good job of getting opportunities from the wide areas, so making sure all the numbers are marked inside the box. White gets fouled by the corner flag. It'll be a free kick for the core. Toronto FC's fans are loud and proud in attendance here today at York Lions Stadium. It is a beautiful day here in Toronto. A free kick for Carolina FC, and De Rosario's down on the ground. We'll get some attention from the referee, and Toronto will go over to their bench to have some discussions with their head coach and Gianni Simini. De Rosario getting some attention to his left lower leg. It's a really good time for both teams to have conversations with their coaches. For Carolina Core, they've had a lot of moments in the wide areas and opportunities to get crosses off or set pieces, but this is where they really have to focus in the 69th minute of play, find ways to really test De Rosario in goal and make sure that they can find something in this match. They've had 9 shots so far. None of those shots have been on target. Couple substitutions will be made.
Substitutions for Toronto FC in the 69th minute.
Charlie Stanlin will come out and Lucas Ogwin will come in. Another substitution will be Tristan Pusage will come onto the pitch for Marko Stojanovic. Core with a free kick. Evans inside, a header, De Rosario comes up with it. Good idea by Evans, a great ball inside. Watches the Core, they finally get a head on it. It was Suba who gets a touch, just not enough power behind that one to test De Rosario. Much better from the Core, this time getting an opportunity and looking for an opportunity on frame off of one of these balls from the wide areas. Lucas Ogwin will come onto the pitch for his teammate in Stanlin, the goal scorer in this one. Core with a chance. Evans continues the ball to the right. Ogwin, a player originally from Ontario, signed back in March. Foul will be called against Toronto. Core looking to get a quick restart, won't be allowed to do so. 71st minute of play from York Lions Stadium. Thanks so much for joining us this Thursday evening on MLS Pro, or rather MLSNextPro.com. It was a 14th minute goal from Charlie Stanlin that saw really what we've seen when it comes to the attack from either side in this match. Toronto on a 5-game unbeaten streak, looking to keep that one 6 at home here tonight. De Rosario takes this kick, coming out. After this one, Carolina Core will go home and they will take on Huntsville in their home opener, Huntsville City, on June 1st. Carolina Core, a brand new team to this league, looking to get a result at home. That'll be on MLS Season Pass. You don't want to miss that one. The Core have done a really good job of marketing their team in the High Point, North Carolina community, looking to get a ton of fans out for their home opener. Ball into the attack. Suba in the 18. Can't connect, but he has Evans back. An overlapping run. Evans will give it off to White. Deflection. Pachi in the box. Back out to White on the ground. Cleared by Toronto. Looking to go out quickly. Sharp knew he was in an offside position, so he pulls up his run. Good job by the core to recognize that. Zimmerman-Cheech. Into the foot of Mark Fisher. Fisher, 23 years old from Grand Blanc, Michigan. He's played in every single game this season for Toronto. One of the more experienced players on this Toronto side. Coach Zamini said that this team is really a mix of younger players, experienced players, and it's a really good mix of players trying to figure out their place on this team and can learn from one another, as this is a foul against Evans. Two-hand shove to the back as well. No yellow card was awarded to Evans. He got lucky on that one. An offside position is Sharp again. Carolina Core, they're down in this match, but they've done a really good job against Charlie Sharp, not allowing him any touches in the attack. Covey really leading the way. It's a 3-back from this Carolina Core side. But they're not allowing Sharp to get moments into the attack, not allowing him to make runs, and really slowing the opportunities from Toronto's midfield to connect with him. A yellow card will be awarded to Pusej. Or we'll get another set piece. Watch as this ball gets played inside, and being held on the back is Cuevas. Unnecessary. Cuevas had opportunities going forward, yet there's another defender for Toronto right there, so no need to win the ball. It's going to be another big set piece for the Core. Evans, the set piece taker for the Core. Umasaid having a conversation with some of the numbers in the mix. He'll pull over Charlie Sharp, and Covey wants to make sure that they're settled and ready for this ball to kick off. Evans inside. Headed away by Toronto. Evans again will switch the point of attack. Evans has White wide. Carolina Core looking good in possession, being patient with the ball. I have White wide again. White, 1v1 against Batiste. He'll go back. For Toronto FC, they will stay at home on May 31st. They'll take on Chicago FC United 2. Looking to continue this streak here tonight. 5 games. They started their season with 2 losses, and now they've had 5 straight results. Here comes White with the shot into the hands of De Rosario. Watches White. He takes this touch inside, opens up the opportunity to take that shot. Good look by White, because Toronto hasn't, or rather, the Core haven't had many chances on frame. He's trying to create those on his own. Sharp trying to help it. Covey, missed touch back to his goalkeeper, and it'll be a corner for Toronto. Covey with an awkward touch on that ball, just can't connect it back to his goalkeeper. This is a position where Coach Lassiter says he wants his team to be stuck into this game mentally and making sure that they're consistent. A small detail like this, a missed mistake back to the goalkeeper, is something that the Core have to fix going into the rest of the season. Right now sitting 14th in the Eastern standings. Corner taken by Batiste. Batiste in the box. Touched away by Covey. Pachi just plays it into the attack, and a whistle will be blown dead. This will be a Core ball coming out of their own back half. Pachi's still down on the ground, grimacing in some pain. David Polanco, they call him Pachi. The 25-year-old played in 42 games at Barry University, had 25 goals. He was the 2023 Sunshine State Conference Offensive Player of the Year and scored his first ever Core goal and the first ever Core goal in general against Legacy, their rival team. Sharp, inside. Covey stops it. Sutton will pick it up. Yellow card was assessed to Adam Perlman against that tackle against Pachi. Here's Pachi wide. Evans with the overlapping run. Evans looking for somebody to check to him. You can see his frustration. He's pulling his hands towards him, showing make that run coming towards me. Here's a pass inside, broken up at the last second. It's been a combination of Cuevas and Canetti looking for chances for the Core. Toronto's done a good job defensively, stepping in at the last possible second. Coach Lassiter yelling to his team, shift it, switch the point of attack. That's what the Core has been trying to do in the last 20 minutes here, throwing off this Toronto defense. It's been Toronto just sitting back there trying to find this win. For Carolina Core and Coach Lassiter's side, they want to win games. They want to be competitive within this league. And right now, they're still trying to master that consistency to do so. Ball played into the attack. And it will be a foul and a PK. Core will go to the point after a foul is called against Stefanovic. This ball gets played inside. A really good touch by Canetti. And it's that clip on the right foot by Stefanovic that will give the Core a corner, or rather a PK. Toronto trying to fight with the referee. He will not have any bit of it. The Core will get a PK and look for an opportunity to tie one up here late in the match. Fans cheering on Toronto's goalkeeper, Dave Rosario. This is a big moment for him as Canetti steps up to the point. Canetti. No goals on the season, looking for his first. Canetti with the shot, goal! Facundo Canetti ties things up in the 83rd minute. Here's that moment. Canetti takes a big touch forward. It's that right leg of Stefanovic that gets the leg of Canetti that leads to this penalty kick. Watches Canetti, he's so patient, uses his instep to put it exactly where he wants. Substitution will be made for Toronto. It's Julian Altobelli who comes off the pitch for Nate Edwards. Edwards, 21 years old, originally from Ontario, played for the first team on Tuesday night where Toronto got the win, and they will advance out of the quarterfinals. They won an aggregate 11-1 in the Canadian Championship, so they're headed to the semifinals in that tournament. There's Batiste coming forward, takes a shot from distance. Sutton with a big save over the crossbar. Batiste ripping this one, does a good job of recognizing the space and using the power behind that shot. Sutton does a good job of evading that pressure, and this sets up a good moment for Toronto. Batiste with the in-swinger. Batiste driven low, and it'll be another corner kick for Toronto. Play will be called dead. It's Boomseed having a conversation again with the players inside the box. Headed into the 86th minute of play. It was a goal in the 14th minute from Charlie Stanley that gave Toronto the lead in the majority of this match. Then in the 83rd minute, it was Canetti who goes down inside the box and scores a PK. Batiste tries it again. Inside. Looking for an Olympico. This will go over the crossbar out of bounds for a core goal kick. This match has primarily really just been played within inside the 218s, and the core will go out in transition quickly. Ball played inside. A touch by Cuevas, and he can't get much on it. De Rosario has numbers going wide. Batiste centrally goes back. Rigopoulos. Olguin switches it again. Toronto wide, plays inside. Covey steps off his line to clear that one up. Here comes Pachi. Pachi with a big touch, and a sliding tackle by Perlman sees this one wide. 3 minutes left in regulation time. If this match does end in a tie, it will go into a shootout. The best of 5 and PKs will win this match. The winner will go home with 2 points, and the loser will go home with a point. Between some of the stoppage time, fouls, and some injuries, we will likely have a good few minutes of stoppage time in this one. First time we've seen a lot of energy from either side. The tempo was set by Toronto early on in this match, and they just wanted defensively to sit back after they scored. Now we're seeing the core look for their opportunities and go out quickly. Here come the core again, the ball wide to White. Played inside, cleared. Touchback out wide into the box. That'll go out by Mark Fisher. Evans, a little give and go, can't connect that last pass. Ogwin. Ogwin will receive it again, checks his shoulders, has Batiste. Toronto with the momentum, Batiste wide. Batiste in the midfield again. Foul will be called against Suba, and Core will get the chance to restart this one and evade that pressure by Toronto. Keeping this one in the attacking third is Fisher. Core will get this throw in. Toronto trying to pin them in. Cuevas centrally has Canetti, whose shot gets blocked. Batiste with time. Batiste has a number wide. Batiste, the shot, goal! Jesus Batiste gives Toronto the lead, 2-1. Watch as Batiste had the numbers going forward, and he holds his run at the top of the 18. Watch as Batiste takes that touch to his left foot, does a good job of keeping the ball low and on the ground. Sutton can't see past his defenders, and Batiste, in the final minutes of regulation time, gives Toronto the lead. Carolina Core were on their way to get their third straight result in the league. They still can. 4 minutes of stoppage time in this one. Batiste has been on fire all night. The first half, really defensively, he was putting in the effort to help out his back line and help Stefanovic. In the second half, he slid more into a central role and has taken more and more of those chances. A box-to-box fullback for Toronto today. Pachi restarts it for the Core. Carolina Core with a little bit of possession. 2 minutes left to go in stoppage time. No option but to go back. Toronto this time really dropping the numbers, applying that pressure to the Core's back line, trying to see out this lead. August restarts it with a throw in. Olguin is there. They'll have some time to play it forward. Right there, Olguin just needs to kick it up the pitch and see this one out. This now gives Core an opportunity and maybe a few more seconds in this match to look for a goal. Toronto looking to kill the clock. Batiste stays with it, finds his teammate back. De Rosario out wide has Pusej. Pusej goes forward. Sharp pulls it down. Covey is right there to win it for the core. Just under a minute left to go in stoppage time here from York Lions Stadium. Toronto FC, if they can see out this win, it'll be the 6th straight result for their side. If TFC2 can pull out this win as well, they'll bop into that 5th spot in the standings, go from 10th up into the 5th spot. So a potential really big result here on their match day 8. Pachi dropping back defensively. Rather, that is Bazias. Late substitution here in the second half. Toronto clears it up all the way. Few seconds left to go in this one. Covey goes short, has Evans wide. Evans inside the box. A last minute look for the core. Ball out wide again. Bazis. De Rosario collects and he'll fall on the ground. De Rosario trying to kill the clock. Toronto slow to move up the pitch. Toronto did a really good job to not allow core to be threatening centrally, keeping the ball in the wide areas. That is it here from York Lions Stadium. Toronto gets the win 2-1 over Carolina Core. They stay on their unbeaten streak. 6 games unbeaten by TFC2. A good home result for Toronto. Man of the match is presented to you by Adidas. It's Jesus Batiste. The 91st minute goal scorer gives Toronto the lead to keep their unbeaten streak alive. Batiste, a player who was all over the pitch tonight, had a beautiful shot almost from midway this time, finds the back of the net to give his team this result in regulation time. That will be it here tonight from Ontario, Toronto, Ontario. Thank you so much for joining us here on MLSNextPro.com. For my entire crew, my producer, Jesus Acosta, I'm Anna Whitty. Thank you so much for joining us. TFC2 gets the result 2-1 over Carolina Core. Have a great night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.